What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles' YouTube channel. Today we're covering the top 8 decks from the Athens Regionals Masters Division. And like always, Monday we'll cover the Masters Division, Wednesday we'll cover the Seniors, and then finally on Friday we'll cover the Junior Division. I think it's cool to do this. You get to cover all 3 different divisions, see what different decks are being played at the current moment. But I know this will change just a little bit because in the next Regionals, I'm pretty sure Sun and Moon is legal for the next standard regions. I could be wrong, but things will change up here shortly with the Sun and Moon expansion coming out. But let's go over the deck list and let's see why these players did so well at Athens Regionals, was 2 weekends ago, which was the standard format. So the thing about this regionals, it was very different once again. We saw pretty much every regionals, even Talk Boater was just winning everything. And then going to Dallas Regionals about January 1st, or New Year's weekend, we saw Mega Gardevoir come out of nowhere, did fairly well. And then this weekend, everything changed once again. And I think it's a good thing for the format. Everything's changing up. You don't know what's going to do well, and players have to be prepared for everything. So let's go over this top 8 list. Some of them we've already covered before, so we're not going to cover those lists. We did interviews with those players as well, so we're not going to cover them. But let's go over the top 8 list, starting off with the Masters Division Champion, which was Turbo Darkrai, powered by Chris Siakala. I'm not sure his last name's Chris, I apologize. But just a straightforward Turbo Darkrai deck. Now this deck does remind me a lot of Pancakes, which uses Xerneas Break, put a bunch of energies on the field, and start attacking. But Dark Pulse does 20, and this attack does 20 more damage for each dark energy attached to all your Pokemon. This is a little bit different than Xerneas, because Xerneas can do any energy, but Darkrai does take the benefit, or I guess it has to use only dark energy. I guess Xerneas would be the one benefiting it. But Darkrai's only downfall is only for dark energy, but still, that did not stop Darkrai from winning. You can just put a bunch of energies down by attaching, or you can use Max Elixir, look at top cards of your deck. If you find a basic energy, put on your bench basic Pokemon. So, really strong card for sure. Max Elixir, you can all of a sudden put 4 energies out in the field to do a bonus of 80 more damage. Now, another kind of power-up is Evital. That's a Blivwing. You want to do 30, and you attach a dark energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And with this, in Max Elixir, you can just get a ton of energies out. Because what you could do is you could attach for your turn, then like Juniper, or Sycamore Darkaway, or Ultra Ball Darkaway, then a Blivewing, and then Max Elixir, and you have the potential to get up to 4, 5, 6 energies down in one turn if you hit all 4 Max Elixirs, attach, and a Blivewing, which is really crazy. It's not going to be done too much, but for the first couple of turns, you pretty much want to Blivewing to get a bunch of energies on the field. And then once you do this, you can start using Dark REX, using Dark Pulse, and just start taking knockouts. Now, Dark Head does 80. If they're asleep, you do 80 more damage. There's nothing to put them to sleep in this list. There's Evital as well with Darkness Blade for 100. I guess it could be helpful against like Regice and yeah, mostly just Regice, because Regice makes where EXs can hurt, but Evital's not an EX, he's a basic Pokemon, so he can hurt Regice. Now, like always, decks play 2 Shamans to help set up, to make your deck really consistent. You already have 6 cards in your hand, and 1 Hoopa, which is very interesting. Hoopa can let you search for 3 EX Pokemon, so 2 Darkrai's and a Shaman for the most part. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's just, when I saw multiple Darkrai's lists, I don't think I saw Hoopa. I saw other stuff in there instead, like an Evital. I saw some players play Regirock, which made me happy. I love Regirock, but playing Hoopa instead, which seems fine, just to get multiple Darkrai's and Shamans on your field turn 1. And he played 12 Dark Energies. Of course, this is the main energy for your deck. You want to get much as these as you can out ASAP. So, deck play 4 Sycamore, pretty much a staple. 3 in, 2 Lysander, which I say in every single video, you need 2 Lysander in your competitive deck. It's just really good card. If you prize it, you're going to be in trouble. You need to have a Lysander in your deck at all times. Now, this is his one-ofs. 1 Hex Maniac, which is going to help you out against Greninja for the most part. It makes where abilities do not work until the end of your opponent's turn, so you can shut down Giant Water Shuriken, which does hurt this deck a lot. So Hex Maniac can help you out there in Greninja, and then some other matchups as well. Like you could turn 1 Hex to shut down Shamans, shut down Hoopas, Dragonites, anything like that. Hex Maniac can help you out a lot. One Pokemon Stimulating to heal 60 in all special conditions for one of your Pokemon. Once again, can be very useful against Greninja to negate 60 damage if they giant water, if they shadow stitching, not shadow stitching, if they Moonlight Slash for 60 or 80 if they pick it up. And then lastly, it's going to be Team Flare, going to discard energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, which could slow them down to put in a bad situation. Especially if you're playing against Yveltal and your opponent's trying to be smart and like Wise Cyclone, you can then like Team Flare got the active energy, and now they have no energies in the active spot. So next up is 2 Silent Lab. This is going to be mostly for Volcanions. It's going to be for the Mega Rayquaza decks, the Gardevoir decks, anything that relies on heavy abilities. Silent Lab is going to come in like perfect condition and going to help you win those games. He played 1 Parallel City as well. That's just going to help out more against like Mega Rayquaza, because now you can put them down to 3 instead of down to 5, and they struggle a little bit more to get down those Pokemon. But I think I prefer more Silent Lab, so that way you have a better matchup against like Volcanion and Gardevoir and stuff like that, because Silent Lab seems like really, really deadly to shut those decks down, but he did prefer Parallel City. I guess it gets shut down like Guardy as well, because you put it down to 3, now they need Skyfield plus like a ton of Pokemon to knock out your Darkrai, but Guardy's not taking a knock on a Darkrai usually, especially with a team. I mean, if you have a Fighting Fury Belt, you have 220 HP, then they can't knock you out unless they play Rattata. And it's a weird matchup, just Guardian versus Dark. It's like such a weird matchup. I'm not sure how it plays out. If people have tested that, let me know in the comments. I think it's like in Guardy's favor, but I'm not 100% sure. Next up is Max Looks. We talked about this. 4 Ultra, 4 VA Seeker, and 3 Trainer Maul. These cards are an automatic staple on almost all decks. Now, he did play 3 Trainer Maul, and for the most part, it's for consistency issues. Just, you know, he wanted other stuff in his deck. You could cut, like, I don't know, like a Team Flagrant maybe for a 4th Trainer Maul if you wanted that bad. But yeah, 3 Trainer Maul is fine. 2 Escape Rope, both players switch to active from their bench, your opponent switches first, and 2 EXP Share, which definitely does remind me of Rainbow Road. I mean, Pancakes. Sorry, not Rainbow Road. It's, yeah, I don't know what to call it. Xerneas Break or Pancakes, as everybody else has been calling it. But EXP Share is going to help you keep those dark energies on your field. So your opponent, if your Pokemon gets knocked out, you can then put 2 energies back on your field, which is like why Red Rock is so good, because you can just EXP or share Red Rock and they can never be licensed up. It's just there all the time, but then you can't really attack with Red Rock, and then you have to play like Ninja Boy and stuff like that to switch out for a Darkrai. So maybe Red Rock's not so good in here, but it's still really good to keep those energies on your field with EXP Share. Now the deck played 2 Fighting Fury Belt to give your Pokemon 40 more HP and do 10 more damage, which is really strong because you can, what is it? You can make your Darkrai have 220 HP and then do additional 10 damage, which is really cute. 1 Enhanced Hammer, discard special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon, 1 Flowstone, and 1 Switch, okay? So he plays a bunch of switching cards, like 2 Escape Rope, 1 Flowstone, and 1 Switch. I kind of wish it played more Floatstones, because Baby Yveltal has a 2 retreat cost, and Hoopa has a 2 retreat cost as well. But I guess like the one switch and 2 escape rope is fine as well. So that's Chris's list that he used to win regionals. So next up, it's going to be a crazy deck. The Vesqueen Zebstrika. It plays so many different Pokemon, 29 Pokemon. As you see, Chris's list only played 9, and Dylan plays 20 more Pokemon, which is insane. We're going to try my best to cover all this stuff. Some of the stuff, I don't know why he played it, like the Rattata. I'm just guessing to discard the tools to hit 180 instead of 220. But let's go over the deck, and let's see how does this Vesqueen Zebstrika deck work. Well, first off, it plays a 4/4 Vesqueen. Of course, Vesqueen does Be Revenge, 20, and then 10 more damage to each Pokemon in your discard pile. So if you have like 60 Pokemon in your discard pile, you go swing for 180 and start taking knockouts. It plays a 2/2 Zebstrika, which is going to help you out a lot against like Yveltal and against Rayquaza, because you can crash a bolt for 50, and if it has fighting resistance, you do 60 more damage, which is 110. Times 2 is 220, and you're knocking out all those Pokemon fairly easily, which is really nice. Blitzo, of course, for the evolution. So, for Unknown, to discard an Unknown and draw a new card from your hand, this is going to do 2 things. It's going to put more Pokemon in your discard pile, and let you draw more cards out of your deck. That's the whole point of the deck. You want to draw really fast, and with 4 Unknowns, you can easily do this. Now, the next thing that we're going to show off is a very interesting thing that a lot of players do not play in their competitive list, and that's a 3/2 Octillery line. Octillery has the Abyssal Hand. Draw, you have 5 cards in your hand. Now you might be wondering why is he not playing 4 Shaman? If you notice, he only played the 1 Shaman EX. Now he probably played the 3-2 Auxiliary because he didn't want his opponent to have a Lysander target. If you put down too many Shamans, your opponent has a win condition of just Lysander up and taking the easy game for sure. But with an Auxiliary, it's only one prize, so it's not too bad for you if they do Lysander knock out your Auxiliaries. So next up is 2 Rattata. Like I said, it's probably to hit those fighting free belts off your opponent's active to bring them down to 180 instead of 220 or 170 instead of 210 and hit those numbers fairly easily instead of having to discard a bunch of Pokemon and hoping to hit above 200 HP. Now, 2 Klefki, it's going to help you out a little bit against Gardevoir. I imagine Gardevoir is your hardest matchup, but what you can do is Klefki your Vespiquen and you're good to go. Or you can play Garbodor, as we see Dylan does do that as well. Now, Klefki, I didn't go over this, but Klefki, if you get discard it off your bench and put it on one of your Pokemon, I think it's off your bench, right? This Pokemon is on your bench. You may discard all cards attached to it and attach it to one of your Pokemon. If you do, it cannot be hurt by Megas. And currently, right now, there's no way to remove tools except for Rattata. So Klefki can help you against those Mega decks. Like I said, the biggest one, it's going to be Mega Gardevoir, but then you have Garbodor, which is the key to, I think, beating Gardevoir. You have Garbodor beat Gardevoir because you can Garbotoxin and shut down their abilities. But then, like, they just knock you out. I don't know. I think, like, going the Klefki route might be the best way. When I saw Alex Hill playing against it, what he would do is Klefki his Vespiquen and his Garbodor, because if you just put down Klefki on a Vespiquen, well, then your opponent could play Rattata and bump the Klefki off, but that's only for one turn, so maybe you can have a little bit more usage if, like, they can Rattata you off once, but that's maybe just it. I don't know. It's weird. I think the Gardevoir matchup was probably just bad for you. I'm not sure if Dilla played against it. I mean, some players might know. I don't know if he played against it. A lot of the Vespiquen lists are playing 4 Klefki, which does help out a little bit more because you can Klefki both your Vespiquen and Garbodor and make it where they can't play the Rattata. But if you don't Klefki Garbodor, then it doesn't work. And you gotta make sure if you go for the Klefki Vespiquen Garbodor play, you Klefki your Vespiquen first and then your Garbodor, because if you Klefki Garbodor, you turn on Garbotoxin and then you can't use the Wonder Lock anymore. But 1-1 Garbodor is going to help you out against the Greninja matchup. They can use Giant Water Shuriken. You shut them down pretty hard. So 1-1 Garbodor to shut down abilities. 1 Shaman EX, just in case you're in a super bad situation. You can just grab the Shaman and set it for 6 guards. And you play 1 Mew EX as well to copy any attack on the field, which, I mean, I guess is okay. Like, you have 120 HP. You can just copy Vespiquen or copy Zebstrika, whatever you want to do. You can also copy Sky Return. I guess it's okay. I don't know how it plays out. I guess it's like a save one of your Vespiquen kind of things. Because if you notice, he plays a Revitalizer, but he doesn't play any like Super Rods, so he can't get back like his Zebstrika really easily, or he can't get back his. I mean, he can get Vespiquen back with Revitalizer, right? And he plays 1 Buddy Bear as well. It's another one of those things. I'm not sure why Dylan played it in his list. I'd rather play a 3rd Klefki, but obviously Dylan piloted fairly well, making 2nd place, and he knows a little bit more than I do about this deck. For DC, of course, because your main attackers are Vespiquen, Zebstrika, of course, so they need DCs to attack. And you're going to see he doesn't have any way to like deal with Giratina. Giratina is just an auto loss at the Chaos Will you. You could go really fast and maybe win that way. But Giratina is just an auto loss. They start Chaos Well you, and they knock you out. So next up is 4 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, 2 N, and 1 Olympia. And that's going to be all of his supporter cards. Of course, Olympia to get the Pokemon in Act Spot. He only played the 1 Floatstone, so if you Lysander an Auxiliary and it's stuck there, you're kind of in trouble. But then you can Olympia out of the active into your bench. 1 Faded Town to put 2 damage counters on each Mega Evolutions. It can maybe make some math change a little bit to make Vespiquen take knockouts really easily. Like I said, he played the Rattata to help take care of these Pokemon that have like fighting free belts to make them have more HP. But with Faded Town, you kind of could do that same thing, but put 2 damage counters on their Megas instead of discarding the tools. Yeah, so Faded Town is going to help you against Megas, basically, to help you hit that 200 plus damage fairly well. For Acrobike, look at top 2, discard 1, put 1 in your hand. For Ultra Ball, and this is the thing that everybody's like, what the heck, Dylan, what are you doing? 3 VS Seeker. Yeah, I mean, almost like every list plays 4 via Seeker, but for some reason Dylan played 3. I don't know if he forgot he could play 4, or maybe it was space issues. Like, Dylan has a crazy mind. So 3 via Seeker, and no Trainismo either. So he's like really relying on unknowns and acrobikes and Ultra Balls to get unknowns in the artillery. I mean, he did play 6 supporter cards, but even then, like, it's a really crazy list. 2 special charge to return 2 special energies from your discard pile back into your deck. One buddy rescue. Sorry, one buddy rescue. To each player puts a Pokemon from their discard pile back into their hand, and this can let you grab like Vesqueen, Combi, an unknown. If you're in a that bad situation, maybe a Klefki to reuse Klefki. There's a lot you can do with a buddy rescue. And he played 1 Flowstone, which still is crazy because you can Flowstone a Garbodor to turn on the Garbotoxin. But if you discard your Flowstone or something else, then you don't have a tool for your Garbodor and you're in trouble. And here's another crazy thing: is the Lucky Helmet. Like, there's so much going on Dylan's list. I have no idea what he was thinking when he built this list. It's definitely one of the craziest lists we've seen in a long time. But when you attach it to an active Pokemon, or when your opponent hits this and it's on your active Pokemon, you draw 2 more cards. Now, what could be really good is if you Lucky Helmet like your second to last Vesqueen. Like, let's say you take a knockout, you have 1 prize card left, and you Lucky Helmet that Vesqueen. Well, now your opponent can end you down to 1. And then they attack with the Vesqueen with the DC, which they have to, because if they don't, they lose the game. So now it's they end you to 1. You attack with the Vesqueen with the DC with the Lucky Helmet last turn. So now they're forced to knock it out. You draw 2 extra cards, and you get to draw another one. So you essentially have 4 cards in your hand thanks to Lucky Helmet, and you should have a little bit easier to win the game. Which is, I imagine that's why he played it, for like the end game kind of thing. You put a Lucky Helmet Vesqueen, they end you down to 1, then they hit you, then you draw 2 more cards, and then you take a 4th one. And if they end you down to 2, well, then you draw 2 more, and now you have 5 cards, which like is a really good starting hand. And you're going to find the DC or whatever you need to win the game off those 5 cards. And 1 Revitalizer to get back 2 Grass Pokemon from discard pile back into your hand. It could be a 1/1 Vesqueen, it could be 2 Vesqueen, it could be 2 Combis. It's just really good card to help you streamline those Vesqueens over and over again. And like I said, Dylan's list is pretty much the craziest Vesqueen Zebstrika list we have ever seen. There is 2 others in here. Like, we'll go to Carl's, and I imagine Carl's is going to be, oh my goodness, Carl's is different. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on here. All these lists are so different. This one didn't even play Garbodor. Alright, so let's go over Carl's list, who made top 4 with Vesqueen Zebstrika. Once again, 4 for Vesqueen, we know what those do. 2 to Zebstrika, same thing as well. But this time he plays 4 Klefki, which is kind of the standard. So that way you can Klefki your Vesqueens or whatever, make where Gardevoir can't hurt it or Mega Rayquaza can't hurt it, which does help out a lot. He played 3 Unknown and 3 Shaman. Now, even then, I see some lists playing a 4/4 Unknown Shaman. But Carl's list is going to be a little bit different because he plays a 2/1 Vaporeon line. Oh my goodness, what is going on right now? But Vaporeon says each of your stage 1 Pokemon to play is now a water Pokemon in addition to its existing types. Now, this is going to help you out a lot against Volcanion. Volcanion is probably one of your hard matchups because, Power Heater just knocks out Vesqueens really easily over and over again. But now, if you're a water type, you can start taking knockouts of them pretty easy with using the Beer Vent. You can just make Vesqueen a grass and water and just start knocking out Volcanions out of nowhere, which is why he did play the Vaporeon. And he played a 1/1 Zork, which is going to help out against like Mega Rayquaza decks even more. If he wants to go that route, anything that has a bunch of bench, you can just Mind Jack for a ton of damage, which is great. He doesn't even play Floatstone if I look at his list. Yeah, I do not even see a Flowstone, so like literally Zork's in there to take knockouts, probably on like Mega Rayquaza for the most part. But Mind Jack with a full bench could do 160, but then it starts increasing more with the more not Faded Town, with the not Parallel City. Come on now, Skyfield. If they put down a Skyfield and start both Pokemon, then Mind Jack can take a knockout for more damage. And once again, we see a Mew EX in this list. I guess to copy any attack, like Vesqueen, Zebstrika. You can copy Unknown if you want to hit it power. You can Sky Return. You could Lunge. You can Mind Jack. You can. That's pretty much everything. So Mew, just another attacker, so that way you don't run out of best queens. 4 DCs like always. All your attackers need DCs. And let's go over his trainer cards. So 4 Sycamore, 2 Lyson, 2 Ant, and 1 Teammates. He's actually opt to not play the Hex Maniac. Or no, it was Olympia. So looks like his list plays a Teammates instead of Olympia, which lets you get 2 cards out of your deck if a Pokemon's knocked out the last turn, which is really strong to grab like a DC and Best Queen. We're going to see he plays a Faded Town for those mega matchups, like I said. That way you can take him down easier. And 1 Parallel City, which, I mean, I guess you could put a Mega Closet down to 3 if needed. But they still take a knock on you, I guess. So, in my opinion, when you play Parallel City, it might help out someone against Greninja. But what you could do is put yourself down to 3 and then discard your Shamans, so that way your opponent can't license them up. You can put yourself down to 3, and then you bump your Shamans off, then your opponent can license them up, and that's probably the best thing for Parallel City. Now in this list, he plays 4 Acrobike, 4 VS Seeker, 4 Ultra Ball, and once again, no Trainer's Maul, so no Trainer's Maul, but 2 Revitalizer to put 2 Grass Pokemon from Discard Pile back into your hand, 2 Special Charge, and 1 Buddy Rescue again. Alright, so that's enough about Best Queen Zebstrika. Let's look at another Tobro Darkrai deck. Yay! I mean, I guess, this region is a little bit cool because you have decks we've never really seen make cut before, besides the Best Queen Zebstrika deck. Mega Cards, I think, has made cut some places, but not as dominant as it did here. I mean, we see, 1, 2, 3 Best Queen Zebstrikas, 2 Turbo Darkrai's, and 3 Mega Quazzas. So you see this field is like really a little bit diverse for sure. So let's go over Kyle's Stable House and see what his deck is. So once again, the 4 Darkrai, 2 Yveltal, 2 Shaman, 1 Hoopa, and 12 Dark. Nothing changed. It is exactly the same exact list. Now this is where things get a little bit different. He played a Delinquent. We know that Carl did not play Delinquent in his list. Instead, I think he opted, Chris didn't play Delinquent. He played a Hex Maniac, Cinderlady, a Team Flagrant. Kyle played a Delinquent, Hex Maniac, Olympia, Cinderlady, and Team Flagrant. So you see Kyle is playing a little bit more of these supporter cards for sure. But we're going to see he's going to play 2 Reverse Valley, so his Dark Pokemon do 10 more damage. He didn't go for the Silent Lab route or Parallel City. He just went for straight Reverse Valley to that additional 10 damage, which a lot of people were doing it. Because if you play Reverse Valley with Fighting Fury Belts, you do an additional 20 damage, which could help you hit those numbers. It's like a whole new energy on your field, which 1 new energy doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a little bit difference. We see, once again, the 2 Escape Road, 2 EXP Share, 2 Trainer's Mail, 1 Hand Center, 1 Floatstone, 1 Switch. So pretty much kind of the same. Less Stadium, more of the Trainer cards. I'm pretty sure it's just 1 Hex Maniac. No, 1 Delinquent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me make sure I did this right. And then 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's just he added in the Delinquent instead. But yeah, everything else pretty much like the same. So I'm not going to cover this again. Next up is 3 Mega Quazzas. Now, Meds, we've already covered this before. We did a video with him. I'll leave a link down to it below where you can watch it. Next up is Lewis. Chip, we did a video on as well. We interviewed him. So we're going to see that and meet us talk about it. He goes in more detail. Both these players go in more details about their list. So it'd be better to watch those for sure. Ahmed and Chips will be down below the description if you want to watch those. But next up is going to be Louis Zabrana, playing the Mega Quazza, and he's going to play the Magearna version. What the heck, Giratina? You can't even see the Giratina on here. Oh my goodness, they hid it. Such a good card. They had to hide it. But Mega Quazza, we know what this does. Ammo Break does 30, and then 30 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. And with Skyfield, you can have up to 8, so you hit up to 240 HP, or do 240 damage, which is amazing. The interesting thing about his list is he does play the 1 Dragon Rayquaza, so that we can Dragon Call for 30. He did opt to go the Magearna, and Giratina route. Giratina is going to shut down Break's abilities, so that way Greninja Break can use Giant Water Shuriken. But then it becomes interesting because they play Silent Lab to shut down Giratinas, but then you play Skyfield. So it's very different. It's like a Stadium War kind of thing going on. And once they start Stadium War you, they can start hitting your Giratinas for knockouts if they want to go that way, like double Giant Water Shuriken. I think it has 120 HP. I can't recall exactly. But if it has 120 HP, they can double Giant Water Shuriken to knock it out. But the Magearna is going to help you out against Rainbow Road because Prismatic Wave does 20 damage times the number of different types of Pokemon on your opponent's bench. So playing against Rainbow Road, you can easily do a ton of damage that way. And one Magearna EX for the Mystic Heart to prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks except damage done to each of your Pokemon that has any Metallurgy attached to it, which is really strong. It can help you out against Jirachi because now they can't discard your DCEs. It can help against like Froakie, so they can't bubble you if you want to go that route as well. But one Dragonite with the pull up to return two base Pokemon from your discard pile back into your hand. Alright, so that way you can fill your bench up if they like discard it, and then you can put down Dragonite, grab two Pokemon out to help you hit those numbers. Two Hoopa for the Scondrings, such for 3x Pokemon. We see a 4/4 double colors metal. Okay. The two Lysander hacks and Skyla, the stuff is pretty standard. Especially Skyla, we saw meta played as well. The very interesting thing about his list, I mean, we see two Trainers Mail, so less Trainers Mail for sure. 3 Mega Turbos, 3 Links, whatever. Is the 4 Puzzle Time. Puzzle Time was like almost a staple last year and expanded, like almost like not standard. I mean, not expanded, standard, because you can just like Compressor. And then you can then puzzle for any two cards. I do discard pile that you just compress it for. It'd be good to go. But puzzle time, if you play 2 copies, you can any 2 cards out of your discard pile, which can grab like a DCE and a Mega Turbo. You can grab your Mega Quasar and a DCE, like any kind of combo you need. Puzzle time can help you out so much. And with Skyla to help you search for a trainer card, it's easy to pull off. And I'm surprised. I don't know if it's like good or bad to play Puzzle Times. Obviously, it did phenomenal for Lewis because he made top 8 with it. So congrats to him. But a lot of players saying Puzzle Time's not worth it. Some players saying are. So it's definitely a weird thing right now. Is Puzzle Time worth it or not? That's the big question. But everything else is pretty standard that we've seen before. And the other Mega Rayquaza list. So last up is going to be William Boatman playing Vespiquen Zebstrika. Now this one is a more standard version that I'm used to. Nothing too crazy, just a very straightforward standard Vespiquen list. Which don't get me wrong, every single one of these Vespiquen lists are like totally different, but they all did phenomenal. 4/4 Vespiquen, 2 Zebstrika, 4 Unknown, 4 Klefki, which is what I'm used to. 2/2 Garbodor, which you're playing more Garbodors now, so you can easily get the Garbodor Toxin on to shut down like Greninja breaks, anything like that. Once again, with 4 Klefki, you can do the double Klefki thing with Wonder Lock your Vespiquen and Garbodor to make it where the Gardevoir can't hurt you and stuff like that. So that's really cute. 4 DC, of course. 4 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, 2 N, 2 Faded Town to help you against those Mega decks, like we've said the whole time. 4 Acrobike, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. Just like a really consistent list. Like really consistent. Just 4 of everything. 2 Flowstone to give those free treats for Garbodor. For the Garbodor Toxin as well. Like if you lead with like a Shaman or something, you need a Flowstone to turn 1, which is why you have to play 2, I'm pretty sure. But we saw other lists not playing 2, just playing the 1. But 2 Revitalizer, put 2 Grass Pokemon for discard pile back into your hand, and 2 Special Charge. And there we go, guys. There's the top 8 list. Later on today, we're going to show Chris's list off, and I'm pretty sure I got it wrong. I think I put a parallel, I didn't put a parallel city there. I'm pretty sure I put in a reverse value when I made the video, but I do apologize for that. And I think that's the main thing, is I accidentally put I think I put a reverse value instead for a for a parallel city. I'm about to check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I messed it up in Main Next Monday videos, which I do apologize for. I already had the video edited. I did it early today when this list came out, so I kind of messed up my part. But guys, there we go. There's a top 8 list, or top 8 decks. If you have any questions about them, let me know in the comments. If I messed something up, let me know as well. I know I covered some of them somewhat quick, but like I said, we have 2 interviews with Mega Rayquaza. Make sure you watch those. Those are definitely like really good to watch, especially in Meds, because you see we do a video about Gyarados as well, so make sure you check that out. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and like I said, on Wednesday we'll cover the Senior Division, and on Friday we'll cover the Junior Division. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.